What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing my recipe for these mini flatbreads. Now these mini flatbreads are really soft and really delicious and really simple to make. It's a riff off of my original flatbread recipe, also my tennis rolls recipe. It's the same type of bread dough going on, but I'm going to show you guys some tips and tricks so you guys can get the perfect bread every time. If you're a carb lover just like me and enjoy a nice thick piece of bread with some cheese in the middle or some butter, then you're in luck because I'm going to show you all of my tips and tricks to get the perfect bread at home. I have so many memories of waking up on certain weekends, even on Christmas morning, and my grandmother has hot baked bread ready to eat for everybody. My favorite is personally pepper pot and bread on Christmas morning, but bread is something that can be enjoyed any time of the year. You don't have to make homemade bread just during the holidays. And I promise once you're finished watching this video, you will never go back to one of the West Indian bakeries to buy bread anymore because it's so simple to make it homemade. So I hope you enjoy this recipe, guys. In order to make these mini flatbreads, the first step is to go ahead and prepare the yeast or allow it to bloom. So for this recipe, I'm going to be using some milk and water to bring together my dough. But if you wanted to, you could just use water for it. It wouldn't make too much of a difference. I just find that the milk adds a better softness to the bread. So I have my milk here that I'll be using, and it is warm just a little bit. You do not want to use cold milk or else it will kill the yeast. So into my warmed milk, I'm going to go in with all of my yeast. I am also going to go in with a little bit of sugar. Now this is all of the sugar that I'm using in the whole bread recipe, but I'm only adding in about a tablespoon into my yeast mixture. What this does is it allows the yeast to feed off of the sugar, and that's what makes the yeast grow or bloom. So you don't want to add all of it in, you just want to add a little bit in. And then on top of that, I'm going to go in with a little bit of warm water as well. And of course, not too much yet because you want to mix all of those liquids into the flour to see how much you're going to need. So what you want to do is just mix everything together, make sure the sugar is dissolved for the most part, make sure that yeast gets thoroughly coated in all of the liquids. And what I'm going to do is allow this to stand by or sit for about 10 to 15 minutes or just until it gets very frothy and very foamy on the top. So while your yeast mixture is blooming, we're going to start adding in the other ingredients into our mixing bowl. Now, as you guys can see, I am using my mixer today. Usually when I make bread or any type of dough, I'll do it by hand. That's just because I like to feel the texture in my hands and know how much water and stuff like that I'm adding. But a lot of you guys ask how it would work if I use a KitchenAid mixer. It's the same exact thing, you just have to be careful and you have to feel it just to make sure you're adding a good amount of liquid or enough liquid or not too much liquid. So into my bowl here, I am going in with all of my flour. I am also going to go in with the rest of my sugar, and I'm just going to go ahead and lock this and allow it to mix until both of these ingredients are combined. And at this point, I'm also going in with just a little bit of salt. And once you allow the flour, the sugar, and the salt to mix up together, you're going to go in with some butter as well as some Crisco. Now this is softened, almost melted. It's like in between. Once you add the butter and the Crisco into your flour mixture, you're going to go ahead and stir it in and allow it to combine really well with the dry ingredients. Now a lot of people always ask me whenever making bread, do I have to use the Crisco? Do I have to use the butter? Well, you need all of the fat definitely, but if you wanted to, you could use all Crisco or you could use all butter, or you could do the mixture like I'm doing here. So once all of that butter and the Crisco is mixed into the dry ingredients, you're going to look over to your yeast mixture and it should be nice and bubbly on top like you see here, nice and foamy as well. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is add it into my dry ingredient mixture. Remember, this is the milk, this is the sugar, the yeast, and I added a little bit of water into here. So once you add that in, you're going to go in with a little bit of extra water. And all of the ingredients that you add in, they should be a little bit warm because if you add in just like cold milk or cold water, it's going to kill the yeast. So I'm going to lock this and I'm going to mix it until it combines. And if it needs a little bit more water, you're going to keep on adding water until you get a nice soft dough. You want it to be soft just like a roti dough. You do not want it to be too firm, or else the end product of the bread will be very firm and tough. So once you guys see that you've added enough water and you have a nice sticky dough and it's nice and soft, remember you don't want it too firm, you're going to go ahead and leave it on your mixer on a low to medium speed and allow it to knead for about 10 minutes or just until it's very smooth on the outside, very stretchy and very pliable. So I'm going to come back and show you guys what that looks like when it is ready to take out of the mixer. Alright guys, so my dough has been kneading for about 10 minutes now, and as you guys can see, it's really nice and soft, very pliable and stretchy, and it is not sticking to my fingers anymore.
It's nice and smooth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this dough into a uniform ball. I'm going to leave it in my bowl and I'm going to cover it with some plastic wrap and allow it to sit or rest for about an hour to an hour and a half, or just until it doubles in size, and then from there we can start making our little mini Plait loaves. So the dough for my mini Plait breads has doubled in size. As you guys can see, it's nice and it's fluffy. So we're going to start rolling them into the little Plait loaves that I was talking about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rip off a piece of my dough. You want a good sized ball. What I'm going to do is split this ball into 3 equal pieces. And once you split it into 3 equal pieces, what you're going to go ahead and do is roll each piece into little logs. And you want to get the logs as even as possible and as close to each other in size as possible. And essentially here, all we're doing is creating a mini Plait loaf, just like you saw me make in my regular Plait bread video. We're just going to make a mini version of that. So we're going to join together all of the sides, and you're going to go ahead and start to braid the bread. And once you braid it and you come to the end, you're just going to pinch the sides together, and then you have one mini Plait bread. So I'm going to go ahead, lay this down on my baking sheet that I've already buttered really well, so this way they don't stick. If you wanted to, you could use parchment paper, but I'm just going to use the butter today. And I'm going to continue making the rest of my mini Plait loaves, and I'm going to show you guys what they look like before they're ready to go into the oven. Alright, so I finished making all of my mini Plait loaves and they look amazing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover them with a tea towel. I'm going to allow them to rest for about another 20 to 30 minutes, just so they can get like a little bit of a second rise. And then I'm going to stick them in the oven, and I'll show you guys what they look like before they go in the oven. Alright guys, so my mini Plait loaves have been resting for an additional 30 minutes. As you guys can see, they've gotten much larger than they were when I first formed them. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is pop them in my oven at 350 degrees, and I'm going to cook them for about 20 minutes, or just until they're golden brown all over the top, and then we can go ahead and serve them. So I'll show you guys what it looks like when it comes out of the oven.
Alright guys, this is the moment we have been waiting for. I just pulled my mini Plait loaves out of the oven. They baked for exactly 15 minutes, and as you guys can see, they got that beautiful golden brown color on the top, and if you were to pick one of them up, you'd see that golden brown color on the bottom as well. So what you want to do when you take any type of bread or baked good out of the oven, you want to lather it up with some butter. Now I like to go all the way in. If I'm going to have a nice hot piece of bread, I need some good butter on top. So I'm just brushing the butter on, brush it on liberally so this way the bread won't dry out and you can have a nice coating of it on top of the bread. Now what you want to do is allow these breads to cool for about 15 to 20 minutes until you cut into them. The reason being is because when you cut into really hot bread, it tends to fall or become very crummy and cakey, and that's not what you want. So be very mindful of that. Let them cool just a bit and then you can dig into them. So my mini Plait loaves have been cooling for about 15 to 20 minutes now, and it's time to dig in. So I want to just break one open and show you guys what it looks like in the middle. As you guys can see, the outside is beautifully golden brown and they're just perfect on the outside in my opinion. When you open it in the middle, you get that nice stringiness that a lot of Plait breads have at the West Indian bakeries. It's soft and it's pliable in the middle and it's just perfect. Go ahead and try this one out at home. You will not be disappointed. Add a little slice of cheese in and you'll be even better off. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Go ahead and give this video a nice big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed yet, and hit that bell notification icon and you'll see when I post my newest videos, and keep leaving your amazing comments down below.